Hey guys, it's Kelly Ann and welcome to another minimalism video. I know that it's been a hot minute, but I promise you I've been working on something really fun. So I have lots of ideas for this channel. I have just been working on something really big for this segment on my channel, and I've kind of forgotten to record videos for in between that, but this is one that I've been wanting to record for a really long time. So sometimes we talk about decluttering digital things, and most of the time we're talking about digital movies, our Kindle books, for me, digital cross-stitch patterns, and like our music on our iTunes and things like that, or Google Play or whatever it's called. But what I'm talking about is our social life. And I've wanted to make this video for a really long time because I personally think it's very, very important. Very important. But it also kind of can be seen as like mean, and that's not the intent of it. It's honestly the intent of releasing people from your lives that you don't want in your life anymore, and you can do that as subtly as you want. Or people who aren't in your life anymore, but they're still in your phone or in your social worlds online, like in apps and things. And also like groups and just apps in general, like on our phone. So I'm kind of a weirdo whenever it comes to my phone. I don't like having a lot of clutter. I only have the one page on my phone, and everything else is in categories and everything being in groups. It's just super organized and it works for me. So one thing that I would honestly suggest is definitely going through your apps. But I have friends who have tons of pages on their phone, nothing in folders, and sometimes they have a hard time finding stuff. So one of my first suggestions is to really look at apps that are on your phone and first delete ones that you no longer use. If you tried them out, if it was a game that was popular a couple years ago or whatever, but you don't play it anymore, go ahead and hold it down and delete it. Then my next suggestion is honestly put things into folder and move as many things to the first page as possible. It used to be in the folders that you got a maximum of 2 pages, and now there isn't a maximum. None of my folders exceed 2 pages, but if that's how many apps you have, that's how many apps you have. But it is 2 suggestions that I would honestly really suggest, and it will kind of make looking for things on your phone a little less hectic. But the first one, go through, figure out what you don't use anymore, delete it. Old games, old programs, whatever. Also, clean out your photos. Geez, some people have a lot of photos. And group things into folders and move as much as possible to the first screen. The bigger your phone, the more surface area you have for folders and apps out by themselves. But if you can get it down to 2 pages with or without folders, I think that's a little bit more reasonable than people that have like 5 or 6. The next thing that I'm going to suggest is going through your social apps. Now, Snapchat, I've promoted my Snapchat on here before, but I honestly don't use it that much anymore. I use it more for like messaging with friends who I don't get to see very often or talk to. So I don't really promote my Snapchat on here anymore. If you do want to follow me and you've seen an old video where I have promoted it, you're more than welcome to. But I don't use it as much as I used to. I use it more to just talk to certain friends because it's easier, and you can make longer than a 10-second video now, and that's kind of nice. So I kind of go through my friends list on Snapchat often, Instagram, though, I really don't, because I promote my channel a lot for my Instagram because of my floss tube videos, and that's where I post a lot of my stitchy stuff. So I have a ton of followers on there, and I follow pretty much everyone back because they're all stitchers, and I enjoy seeing my feed filled with stitcher things, as well as my friends from college and high school that I do like keeping up with, and friends and family. So Instagram, I'm a lot less strict on myself about who I'm following and who's following me, but that's because I have that specifically set up for those things. So for me, Snapchat has kind of become a little bit more private because really not that many people are using it anymore, and so I really only use it to talk to the few people that still do, and Instagram is kind of like my main social hub. I don't post that much on Facebook anymore unless it's my Dyed Panda group, so it's mostly Instagram for me. But that brings me to Facebook. So on Facebook, I have a page where you can join, or a group that you can join called the Dyed Panda, and that's where I post about like my stitching and my videos and things like that, and I get to do like lives and connect with people who want to. A little bit easier sometimes than Instagram. And I have a business page for my Scentsy business that I keep as up to date as possible with the current available stuff, and people can contact me about product information. And then I have my private Facebook. I have, since I've been doing YouTube, received friend requests from people, and like on my private account, and I usually turn them down unless like we've talked for like a long while, but I don't really accept friendships from people that I haven't had any kind of friendship with in the floss tube community or like in person, period. Because one, I honestly don't use my Facebook that often. I post like some cute photos every once in a while, usually from Instagram. But I don't do like lives on my main channel or my main page or my main profile, but I mostly like post photos and like some inspirational stuff, and like if I saw a good movie or something like that. But I mainly use it just to connect with like really close friends and family. I honestly have said a couple of times like I would totally get rid of my Facebook if it weren't for a couple of my friends who live overseas, and it's kind of the only way that we can really talk. So I keep it for things like that, and also the business and the group page. But I do go through my Facebook friends. I have had friends leave Facebook. I have sadly had falling outs and things like that. And sometimes you just naturally grow a distance from somebody, and it's not mean to defriend them. It's really not. If I think that I'm going to feel bad about it, I don't do it that time. I think about it, and I might do it the next time I go through my friends list. You don't have to be super brutal and cutthroat. The first time that I went through my friends list after college, I went from 1,500 friends down to 400. I was pretty cutthroat, but majority of those people I didn't remember or I hadn't seen since high school, so it had been at least 6 years. Didn't talk to them, wasn't really friends with them in high school. Like, we didn't go out and hang out. I just knew them. I just graduated with them. So I've really only kept people on my Facebook that have been friends since we were kids, and we still sometimes talk, and we actually care what's going on in each other's lives. I've kept pretty much most of my sorority sisters over the years, several of my other college friends, and my family. And that's about it. I think I have just at like 300 friends now, which even to me sounds like way too many people, but I have a really big family. And I have a lot of sorority sisters that I'm just not going to part with. But But as far as like college friends and high school friends, the number is so low now. Really, majority of my list is sorority sisters and family. And I am totally okay with that because they're my family. So I just suggest doing that. It's not mean. It is not mean. If the person is no longer in your life and probably not going to be in your life, or even if they are, if they currently aren't because it's a toxic friendship or you just don't talk, it's not bad to disconnect. If you're meant to be back in each other's lives, you will be, because I've had friendships like that. We had falling outs, didn't want anything to do with each other, and about a year and a half later, we're back to being like best friends. Some of my relationships that ended crazy, sporadic, I am so much happier with them out of my life because they just weren't people that I need. We grew in different ways. And the ways that I want to continue growing, their attitude is no longer conducive to helping me grow in a positive way. And that's fine. You can't feel mean or rude about just unfriending somebody. Now, going around and telling people that you're going to unfriend them, that's rude. Making a post that you're unfriending people, that's rude. I have friends that do that, and I just kind of ignore it, but I really don't like whenever they do that. Like, cleaned up my friends list. If you're seeing this, congrats. Like, first of all, if you do it after you've deleted everybody, what's the point? And doing it before, just why give that extra anxiety to other people? Like, that makes people just want to delete you because you're just asking for drama. So if you do it discreetly, honestly, you're not being mean. I promise. The last thing, the last thing is cleaning out your contact list. So I have a fair number of contacts. And if you had guessed it, I kind of go through them often. I take out people that, if they were like a contractor to do something at the house, I take them out probably 6 months to a year after they finish the job, if like we aren't going to need them again. Like the roofers, I'm not going to need a new roof anytime soon. I did keep my tile guy, though, in my phone because we were going to call him like a year later to do something else, so I kept his number. But things like that, old coworkers, unless you got really close to them, you don't need their number. Yeah, just those same friends that you would take off of your Facebook group list, take them out of your phone. Just take them out. You don't need the stress of having people not in your life in your phone. And if you're keeping them because, well, if they call me or text me, I want to know who it is so that way I can ignore it. If that's really what you're worried about, block the number. They won't know. Block the number, delete it out of your phone, and in like a year, go unblock all the numbers. They've probably forgotten about you. And if they haven't, see what happens. It could be great. Could be bad. If it's bad, just reblock them. Ooh, the other thing, Facebook groups. Okay, so I talked about I have a Facebook group, but I'm in some Facebook groups that are really old, or I'm no longer interested in what that Facebook group is offering me, or there's a ton of drama in that Facebook group and I just don't give a shit. Get out of them. If they're really old and it no longer is a thing, leave it. Just leave it. Who cares? If it hasn't been active in like 3 years, leave the group. Just declutter. I mean, yeah, it's not hurting anything because no one's posting, you aren't seeing anything anymore or whatever. It just is in your group list. But why even have it? Like, why even have it? Maybe that's just me. I'm very OCD. But if there's like groups that you're in that are still very active, but very polarizing in a not good way, and sometimes have like the stupidest negativity and fighting in them, think really hard about how much you want to be in that group. And if it outweighs the negativity, then by all means stay in it. But honestly, if every time you get in that group, you're just overwhelmed by stupid and negative, push it out. Hit the unfollow or leave group. Hit that button. Just leave it. Stop getting that negativity in your feed all the time. Stop dealing with it. Maybe if you really want to go back to that group in a couple of months, go back into it and see if the vibe has changed. But if it hasn't, leave it again. Just because you like something doesn't mean that you need to stay in a negative place to get the information. Promise. You can find it other places. Always keep your environment peaceful. That is like my whole goal and purpose with being more minimalism or minimalist. And I've talked about it several times. Minimalism does not mean having nothing and like blank walls. It means whatever it means to you. And for me, it just means, one, not becoming a hoarder. Go watch my first video in this series. But it also means like coming into my spaces and not feeling overwhelmed by stuff or by negativity. And the thing is that even if my entire house is completely decluttered and stress-free, we're always on this. This has literally become our environment. So even if I am at a day spa, if there is negativity going on from my contacts to my Facebook, I'm not really in a peaceful environment. So I honestly cannot stress this enough. It is not mean to do what's right for you. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I've wanted to do this video for a really long time because it's very important for self-care, for self-minimalism, for self-sanity, peacefulness, peace of mind. Take care of you. Some of those other things are really great. All the apps, all the groups, all the chatting. But if it stresses you out or if it's negative too often than not, it might not be worth it. Figure out how it affects you. Maybe take a break from this for a whole day. Just put it off to the side, put it completely on silent. That little guy, completely on silent. Just put it down. Maybe in the end of the day, beginning of the day, check your messages. The end of the day, check your messages. Now, if you're like going into labor or something, don't put your phone on silent, but you know what I mean. An average day, turn your phone completely on silent or on do not disturb, or better yet, off. Put it away, leave it on the charger, and go and do things. Believe it or not, people used to leave their house without these guys. Believe it or not, people used to be able to do things without these. Have a day that's just you. And if you're thinking that maybe you can't figure out what is or isn't worth it of keeping and not keeping, do that. I promise you it will help you figure it out. Anyways, thank y'all for listening. I hope that you really liked this video. I am going to try to remember to film more of the Sunday content for the minimalism series while I'm prepping the really awesome one that I'm working on. I just sometimes forget until it's too late. But this one was really important for me to get out to you guys, so I really hope that you enjoy it. Let me know if any of these tips work for you, if this is some of the stuff that you do, and leave me some extra tips because I would love to hear them and love to know what y'all are doing for your sanity in your social life. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you would like, and the like button. If you dislike this video, don't hit the down button. I mean, honestly, just don't watch me. And if you made it to here where I say that, you should automatically hit the like because you made it to the end. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.